Great. Welcome to Digital Asset News. Take the top stories in crypto and bring it on to bite-sized pieces. Today, what I want to talk to you about is the big question. The big question is to DCA or not to DCA. That is the eternal question. So we're going to take a look at a couple of things. But first, we'll take a look at, there's some tweets I put out every day. It's called It's a Great Day. I'm going to give you a little context about why I do that every single day. Also, we're going to talk about how yesterday we just did a video about selling crypto and digital assets. And today we're talking about DCA. It doesn't make much sense. So I'll put it in line for everybody. I'll also talk about the selling reasons as far as why people sell, the needs and wants, and the pitfalls of actually selling, taxes and buying in higher, which I didn't really cover too well yesterday. And we'll also talk about DCA versus VCA versus going all in. And lastly, we'll take a look at Visa getting into the game, Kiva and the donations that we make due to the DNews Cardano stake pool. And also we'll go over a Q&A. So please hold your questions until the end and then put them all at the very end when I say time for Q&A, because it's tough to actually go through everything. So let's get into it and talk about It's a Great Day tweets. And I got a lot of questions about this because they're like, Rob, why do you keep putting in It's a Great Day every single day? Because some days suck. I mean, as far as like the markets go. And that's true. Some days the market's absolutely awful, right? And then people will see this, and because they see me as crypto channel, and that's it, they assume I'm talking about just crypto and digital assets. But that's not really what it is. I want to put everything in context. I saw this great tweet today, and it was from Bear Fuston. Hopefully I said that right. Just a little context. And he says, "Hey, my first ever dog I owned died yesterday. I have loved that dog for 12 years. Died in my arms at home after a 4-day illness. So traumatized, we're only bouncing around the woods only the other day. It hurts so much." So when you see something like this, I mean, kind of a bummer to actually start the day, but it's not. And if you just put things in context. And why I say, or why I tweet this, it's going to be a great day, is because it is going to be a great day. Look, a healthy person has 1,000 wishes. However, a sick person only has one. So when I'm talking about it's a great day, I'm not talking about just the charts and just crypto and digital assets and just what's going on in the markets. I'm talking about everything in general. So when you're out there, just be a little thankful about what's going on. So that was just my little pick you up a little bit for today, because it's going to be a great day. Look, we're all above ground. We're all pretty much healthy. We've got a lot of things in our lives, family, friends, and loved ones. It's going to be a great day. All right, so that's what we got for there. Let's take a look at what's going on into the market. So I'll just go over this real quick. Today, it is Sunday, 10 a.m. Guaynabo, Puerto Rico time. It's the 30th. Man, time is moving fast. And we've got, not the greatest, but a little bit of a bump, and I'll take it. So we got Bitcoin, 38,000, finally above it. And then the market cap finally went back up to 1.8 billion. We've been just kind of bouncing around, nothing too great. But what I like to see is a little bit of a 7-day push. And over 7 days, Bitcoin's up 8%. Ethereum's up almost 9%. Binance Coin in 7 days up 7%, 3% for XRP. Cardano took a little bit of a hit, 1.9 and 1.2, but hey, that's not too bad. Terra is this one's taking a beating, 21% over 7 days, 7% in 24 hours, 6.7 for Doge, 16% up for Avalanche. It's pretty good. Unfortunately, Polygon down 5, but up 7. So again, it's just kind of just bouncing around. There's no really big winners. Axie Infinity, 10.5% in 1 day. That's pretty good. Anything great? 9% for Tezos. Wow. Watch out for Tezos holders. I'm actually a Tezos holder. I actually have not gotten rid of it for whatever reason, just holding on to it, I guess. 9% for Arweave, that's pretty good. And so on and so forth. 5% for, I don't even know what that is, Convex. Loopring, 7% for Synthetics, and 40% for the week. Holy smokes. It's looking pretty good. So yeah, that's not too bad. So that's what is for the market. But I want to talk to you about real quick is, before we get into the other stuff about DCA and VCA and going all in, was this. Yesterday, we were talking about selling. And it's kind of funny. Like anytime I put anything that has to do with like selling crypto digital assets, people freak out. Like I don't even think they even watch the video. They're like, this guy, how dare he talk about selling when we should all just be buying forever and never getting rid of our crypto. I mean, you can. It's up to you. I mean, on this show, it's just investment opinion, not investment advice. I just talk about what I do, and what I do is truly not important to whatever your goals are. So when I was talking about selling, we just took a look at quickly whale number 3, which is something that Ben mentioned in our DCA show on Friday. And I showed you, because he was talking about how this guy's been, or this individual or group of people, whoever, are buying up at the right times and selling at the right times. And I showed you how to find that address, because in this, just watch yesterday's video. You can see what whale number 3 is doing. And I want to just go over a couple of things as far as why you would actually sell, as far as like your needs and wants, and then some pitfalls. So I didn't really talk about that in a great way. So let's just take a look at whale number 3 one more time, okay? And you can see this guy or this person, this gal, I don't know who it is. That's what's great about. I liked in the very beginning, like you could see, like he dollar cost average a couple of transactions, $3, $20, and $9, and he dumped in 4 million, which I thought was hilarious. Like, well, I'll just dip my toes into it. But I want you to notice when he first started to buying, and then all this stuff in green, except for this -1, it's all dollar cost averaging. He's just like, well, I don't know where it's going, but I'm just going to slowly buy. And it doesn't matter if you're buying millions or hundreds of thousands or thousands or $10. Dollar cost averaging is the same thing across the board. So the idea is that as you start to buy these things, it could go up, it could go down, but over time, you average out and you do pretty well. But there's some caveats to that. So like here, like you can see, like he bought at 3,600. And then over here, let me highlight this. He's mostly buying crypto, or Bitcoin, excuse me, at a very low price, $3,800, $4,000. Now, remember, if you would have gotten into crypto and in 2016 and early 2017, actually, you'd even look at these prices and go, who would buy Bitcoin at $4,000? It's only worth $500 right now. And in 2017, it started out like around 1,000. So who would be in their right mind to buy this stuff and buy and buy and buy? Because I bought it for 500 or 1,000 bucks. Well, we know what the price is today, so it doesn't really matter. So you can just see that. I mean, he's slowly buying and it's going up, going up, going up, going up. And then right around here, he sold 1,200 Bitcoin. This is on August 2019. And he sold at the price level, this is important, $11,000. So all this thing, every buy here, actually every single buy, was below that cost. And once it hit 11.9, he sold. He sold, I mean, not everything. He sold a little bit. Like I say, we DCA in, we DCA out, not totally, because why would you ever sell all your Bitcoin? What if it becomes the world reserve currency, right? What if it comes to be $10 million per Bitcoin or whatever crypto that you're into? So he sold it here, but you have to remember, there's some reasons, of course, like I'm talking about, as to why you'd want to sell. First of all, let's say you're really sick and you have to pay medical bills. I think it's a pretty good time to sell your crypto if you need something like that. Let's say you need, I mean, take a look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs. If you need like shelter, warmth, food, health, I mean, it's kind of important that you do these things, right? Or let's say that you have to, it's your first kid, or maybe it's your third kid. You need like a minivan because right now you're going around, driving around in a smart car. Probably a good idea to do those types of things. Again, this is investment opinion. Again, not advice. So that's the thing. But you have to remember one big thing here, which is the overwhelming thing that people, I've read in the comment section, taxes. So unless you live in an area where there's no capital gains tax, like in Puerto Rico, just remember that even short term here in the States, I don't know where it is where you are, you're paying 20%. You're paying 20% right off the top if it's a long-term capital gain. So like if you've had this for over a year, which this was August 2019, he started in February 2019. So he's paying short-term capital gains, okay? Which means whatever his tax bracket is, and I'm going to guess this guy's in or lady or people, whatever, doesn't matter. I'm guessing they're in a pretty high tax bracket, maybe 33%, maybe 40%. So at this point, even though he's taking profits, that's 40% potentially of what they're doing, because it's short-term capital gains. Now, again, you can move someplace else without it, but just remember, that's what's going on, right? So that's the first part, as far as like the reasons why, and of course, the actual pitfalls. And one thing I want to make mention, very important, is that if you're selling here, we're selling at 11,900. If you sell at that point, you want to be able to buy underneath. It doesn't take rocket science to go, hey, Bitcoin went to 20,000. Now I'm going to sell. Maybe that's the top. I don't know. And it wasn't, because 20,000 is not the top. We hit 69,000. That was the top for now. But you want to buy it back in. Equities or stocks, because that's illegal. But guess what? Bitcoin is, or crypto itself is property. So you can sell it and then immediately buy it right back. I did the same thing with XRP when it went down to 21 cents. Saved a bunch on my taxes. Anyhow, it doesn't matter. So here you got 11,000, 12,000. So you want to buy back in lower, which he did. He or she did. The next purchase, which was a week later, from August 8th, August 16th. Here's his purchase at 10,000, at 10,000, 10,000. Then at 9,000, bought again, 9,000, 10,000. But here, look again. He sold here at 10,000. Maybe here, whatever, needed something, 1,700, whatever. All right. So then just keep going. But from here, remember, there's very few sells, but there's big amounts. But there's a lot of buys, But you see where he's buying at? Well, if he sold at 10,600, he wants to buy below that, which there, now it worked. 9,000, 7,000, 7,000, 6,000. So that works out pretty well, right? He's buying below what he sold. Now, unfortunately, he sold at 10,000. He buy below it. Now it didn't work out so hot. Now he bought at 72. So just keep going down here, 6,700, 9,700. And we can just see, he sells, or he or she sells. I hate saying that. They sell at whatever price. But again, you want to make sure that you're buying back in if you can. And you also have to remember, every time you sell, you're going to have to pay capital gains tax. So just remember that as we move forward. And then moving up here he buys in 4,500. But look what he sells it at. This was a pretty long play, actually. $32,000. So now if he sells at 32,000, you'd hope that he would buy back in at a lower cost, but he doesn't. Actually, the very next purchase, which was 3 days later, I guess he just timed it wrong. And now he's buying at 38,000, 38,000, 39,000. I think that's a good lesson for everybody, because everybody thinks that they're geniuses and they can buy back in at a lower cost, but he's not. Maybe he wanted to do that for tax reasons. Again, he wanted to show some losses. I don't know. But you just have to be aware that every single thing that we do is specific to you and what your needs are. And again, here we go. So I will just make mention of this last part here. Again, he or she sold at 47,000. And also, where'd it go? There was this point. Oh, they sold at 65,000. 40, 40, 40, 40, 50, 50. It went too high. Here we go. Look at this. He sold, which is kind of weird though. He sold 1,500 Bitcoin at 67,000, but then he bought right back in like in an hour, 200 Bitcoin. So again, That's giving me the big picture as best as I can as far as like buying in, dollar cost averaging, reasons, wants, needs, and pitfalls. Remember, taxes are going to eat you up alive unless you're in one of those places. So that leads me to my next point. DCA versus VCA versus going all in. And I will say that I have not been DCAing as much as I used to. I thought the market was going to be much lower. Just a rationale of feeling. And some people will say, no, Rob, here's the bottom. Okay, sure. And then some people say, no, this is, we're going to go much, much lower. Sure. I don't know. And I just thought that it would go a lot lower. I thought we were going to see, I think the lowest we went to was like 32, maybe 31, but I thought it was going to go around 30 and it didn't. So now we're on an upswing, right? And it may be good. So I started to dollar cost average again, I think 3 or 4 days ago. And I just thought, well, this would be a pretty decent time. And I could be wrong again. We could see a magnificent fallout, but you're never going to get it right. So if we're going to talk about dollar cost averaging, just so you know, this is what we're looking at. So the dollar cost average, this will not be, for me, it's not a bad time because things are pretty low and they're very choppy. So not a bad one. So dollar cost averaging again, 25, 10, 25 bucks, 100 bucks, 1,000 bucks, whatever you want to do, right? But there's also another option, and it's one I don't really talk about as much, and that's called value cost averaging. And I've done this before, and you don't have to just buy small amounts every single day or every single week. Let's just say you got $1,000 bucks, $1,000 just hanging around. You're like, I want to invest this into something. Now you can go all in and you say, you know what, $1,000 bucks. But here's the problem with going all in. You better time it right. You better time it right because if you timed it on November, you would have bought it at $68,000, $69,000. Then you have to wait. Now, will Bitcoin go up again? Sure, the all-time high, but you got to wait a lot longer. And for some people, it's very hard to just go, wow, I put all my money in. I thought it was going to keep going up like November. Like even I thought Bitcoin was going to 150,000. Didn't work out like that. So if you do that, just know that could happen, couldn't happen. You could dollar cost average, but you could also do this. Let's say you just got $1,000 bucks like the other one. When you just split it up and you split it up into different segments and just go bulks. You can do that. And sometimes it's actually more bang for your buck. But again, it just depends on the market and what things are going and where things are going. So to me, I'm still going to probably stick with the dollar cost average. I'm dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin because it's the safest. And that's another thing I forgot to mention. What's your risk tolerance? Because some people will say, and it makes sense if you think about it. They're like, well, I'm going to get into a bunch of S coins because it's easier for them to double or triple or 10x or 50x, 100x. That's fine. I mean, go ahead and do that. That's, again, whatever you want to do. But like I always say, I got that saying, and we talked about this yesterday, a dash of salt. Dash of salt are those two projects that, you could have dollar cost averaged into, or you could have gone all in or just dumped a bunch of money, but Dash hasn't come back. And somebody gave me a good insight into Dash. They sent me an email. We'll say his name's Pete. And they said that one of the reasons that something was lost is because they offered an opportunity to get an airdrop for if they did something with via social media or text message, and they wouldn't honor it or something like that. So that lost some people's trust. I'm sure there's other things, but there's more stuff behind that. And then also that was Dash, and Dash might be great. I don't know. But if you look at Dash, let's actually, you know what? Let me show you Dash instead of me just talking about it. Dash used to be big. Dash used to be like top 20, as I remember. It's doing pretty good, $97. Hold on, let me blow this up so you can see it. And yeah, look, over 24 hours, 7 days. All right, 14 days, okay. Now take a look at the max. See, here's the problem. The problem is it used to be almost $1,500. And then, you could still dollar cost average, but it just kind of just flattens out. Here it did pretty good, $300, but it never even hit the all-time high. So you could still do it and bring your dollar cost average back out. But and it still could go up, but there's been so many different projects that do so much better. So why would you do it? I mean, you could, but it's up to you. And then my other one is Salt token. Salt used to be a top 100, and it was supposed to be this great lending platform. And now it's ranked 1200. And again, 7-day, well, it looks okay. 14-day. And we take a look at the max. This one's even more pronounced. There was different problems with management, and it used to be $15. Yeah, and now it's 9 cents. So if you dollar cost average here, you're not getting squat. And it's just awful. Of course, the SEC came in and they had their little tussle, just like Ripple and XRP are doing. But XRP's got a much, much, much better community. And I think that's why you should take a look at it. So again, if you're taking a look at like these types of things, just pick the right thing. And what is your risk preference, you would say? So for me, like personally, if people want to get into the S coins, that's fine. And they say, well, they're going to come back. Well, are they? I mean, maybe they could, I don't know. And it just depends on how long you want to wait. Me personally, I try to balance it out a little bit. So I'll do the Bitcoin Ethereums type of thing, right? Then I'll find my way into the layer 1 solutions, the Cardano and the Solanas and the Avalanches and Phantom and Near and stuff like that, and just to see how things are going. I still hold Tezos. And then you get down to like the metaverse plays, and you go down a little bit farther, and then into even the new projects. But as I move into those newer projects, the percentages goes way down. So I'll do like 30% Bitcoin and Ethereum, then another 30% into layer 1s, and then of course another 15% into the metaverse plays. Actually, it's like 40, 30, 20, and then like down into the lower parts, 5 or 10%. And that's just my personal risk preference. You can go all into the S coins and good luck, but you never know. So it's all about what you want to do. And that's just, hopefully it helps you out, because you got 3 options really: DCA, VCA, go all in on some things. And that's just how, of course, and then if you want to get into like options and things like that, go follow James over at Invest Answers. He loves that stuff. So that's what we got. So let me know what you think about that in the comments section. And the last thing I will just say is what we talked about yesterday. Baron Rothschild. Here's where fortunes are made. First of all, they're made in environments like this, but fortunes are made by buying low when it's like ridiculously low, and then you sell too soon. Because you'll never time the market correctly. I mean, some people can say they will, but they can't do it consistently every single time. And if they do, then let me know, because I want to partner up with that person. That's what we got. So let me know what you think about that in the comments section. Let's move on to our last piece. And this is pretty interesting. This makes me a little bullish. Visa. It's interesting. Visa partners with over 65 crypto platforms, and the usage soars. And again, this is my problem being in America, because I get tunnel vision, and I'm like, well, why would anybody use that stuff? Because like I can see like why you don't want to use Ethereum for gas fees and stuff like that, but why would you want to use Bitcoin as a payment option? Why would you want to use anything else? Why would you want to use Doge or whatever that they're partnering up with, Bitcoin Cash or Litecoin? It's because, well, people out there need an alternative way to pay things. So this is what we got. And this was pretty good. Visa discussed its crypto strategy and achievements during the company's earnings call Thursday. CEO Al Kelly said many current trends in payments, including crypto and wallets, are enabling new ways to pay. These represent opportunities for Visa. We're also providing on-ramps for crypto players, creating connectivity with fiat economies. There are over 65 platforms and exchanges that have partnered to issue Visa credentials. This quarter, Visa credentials and crypto wallets had more than $2.5 billion in payments volume, which is already 70% of the payment volume for all of last year. So let that sink in. So they got $2.5 billion in payments, which is roughly 3/4 of what they did last year. And that's just this quarter. So we will continue to lean into the crypto space. And our strategy is to be a key partner to provide the connectivity, scale, consumer value propositions, reliability, and blah, blah, blah. Okay, whatever. So great. So Visa comes out and says this is a pretty good thing. I never, but it is interesting to me that that there's so many people using crypto as a gateway payment. But it makes a lot of sense. Unfortunately for me as an American, I just think of dollars. I mean, sorry, that's just how I think. Why don't you just use dollars? Because dollars aren't available anywhere. And then also to move money around is super expensive. So like, if you use like Western Union, those types of places, those archaic types of places, to move money around the world is so expensive because it's built on some super old rails. So if you can use crypto, and even if you're like a merchant someplace else, because even me as a merchant online, I pay ridiculous fees to like Stripe and PayPal. It's almost 3% plus 30% for transactions. Ridiculous. And I know Amazon's paying a bunch of money too, and that's why they're getting into crypto payments. So if they can move things around in the crypto, and they can not eliminate a middleman, but to actually just reduce it, because it can be so much more effective, so much the better. It's just like when the fax machine came out. Everybody's like, wow, look at this. I don't have to mail anything and you have to wait for it. It comes right away. That's amazing. How much does that cost? Well, the fax machine's like $1,000, $2,000, but that was back in the 80s. Now look at what happens. Technology reduces the cost to near zero as time goes on, and everybody gets into it. So I like that. I think that's why part of the reason why crypto will do pretty well. Also, as a follow-up for the DNews stake pool for Cardano, if you don't have a stake pool, hey, why don't you check out the DNews? Usually 4 to 6%. That's the industry average. We're averaging around 5%. And what we do is we try to help out people in need. We use Kiva. And Kiva is a lending platform for people in developing countries and even the USA and first world countries to help them fulfill their needs, whatever they are. So like in this one, we donated to Bogota, Colombia. This is a loan that helps affordable financial services for low income and self-employed individuals. This is for Ivan in Uganda. Loan helps to buy refillable bottles to reach more customers who could not previously afford clean drinking water, and so on. And then Victoria, she was in St. Paul, Minnesota. It looked pretty good. Loan helps expand the business. And what's great about this is that if you see down here, so these are, as part of the revenue from our stake pool, we give to these people, they pay us back. So see the Kiva credit? That was from previous loans. And then of course, we give 100 ADA. I mean, we transfer over to dollars. And then we, give it once per month to all these different organizations or different people that need it. And over time, it should just be a snowball effect. So again, if you're looking for some place to stake your ADA, hey, check out DNews. There's a link in the description, and it just says Cardano stake pool, the blue diamonds and things like that. I did a explainer video of how to do it. It makes it super simple. I actually talk about Cardano and how it all works as far as proof of work versus proof of stake and how it all goes down. So check that out. And that is it. So look, that's it for today. Hopefully that helped out a little bit. Just wanted to make a distinction between what I was talking about yesterday, which was selling, and of course the reasons why you would sell, tax implications and things like that. And then we took a look at dollar cost averaging. And yes, right now I'm dollar cost averaging. I'd stopped for a while because I thought it was going to go lower. I was wrong. Hey, happens. And then I talked about dollar cost averaging and going all in. It's up to you. So that's it. So let's break into your questions, huh? See what we got. Let me stop this banner. Boom. It is going to $10. Mike, I don't know if that's true. It might be. I don't know. I'll make a prediction today. My price prediction. Cardano is like $1.09 right now. For 2021, I can guarantee that Cardano will go between $1 and $1.25. Guaranteed. All right. Boring is good. Don't doomer. What are the safest altcoins to invest in? For me, I can't tell you what to do, but safe altcoins, every single company is getting into the metaverse, right? I mean, Nike and Microsoft, geez, even Facebook changed their name to Meta. So it's no stretch of the imagination that probably metaverse tokens and coins will probably be big because people don't know what they're doing. They'll be like, oh, well, Facebook's getting into Meta, so I'll get into this metaverse cryptocurrency. There's no guarantee that Meta will, snatch up Sandbox or Decentraland or Engine Coin to do what they do. So it's just an opportunity. I will say this, though. Some people were so worried about Diem, which is Facebook's cryptocurrency. They just sold off Diem to a California bank for $200 million. Meta did that, or Facebook, whatever you want to call it. So that's a DOA project, thankfully. So as far as that, altcoins, that would be the safest. I think also the safest is layer one solutions. Like, look at the ecosystems. I mean, Cardano's got a pretty big ecosystem. Solana's got a pretty big ecosystem. Ethereum's got a pretty big ecosystem. Phantom is blowing up. Avalanche is going well. So like that base layer supports all these ecosystems. So as long as they're successful, then the underlying layer will be successful. It just only makes sense to me. Would you move to El Salvador and Bitcoin City? No. That's it. That's my answer. No. Thoughts on Crow? I'm not sure. This is crypto.com coin. I'm not sure. I don't know what's going on with that. I never used crypto.com, so I can't really, I can tell you what I know and tell you what I don't know. And on this channel, I'm super biased. So just so you know, everything I talk about are things that I've invested into. So you'll hear me say the same things a lot of times. But crypto.com, I have no idea. DJ, DCA into USDC. It's a pretty good idea, actually. That's actually a really good idea because you get the APY, the interest on USDC on Voyager. I want to say between 9 and 10%, maybe even 11, depending if you're in the Voyager loyalty program, which we're going to have Steve Ehrlich, the CEO, on tomorrow, and I'll ask him about those things. But yeah, if you're not making much at the bank, maybe you might want to take a look at some of these projects or these crypto platforms that give you some pretty good APY. And if you're looking for different platforms, just go here. There is a link in the description of all of my videos. It says exchange and wallet feeds. And it looks something like this. And I show you all the different platforms that I use: Voyager and Celsius, KuCoin, Kraken, Gemini, SimpleSwap, Coinbase, Stablehouse. I got to put FTX in there. Did I not put them in there? Yeah. So you can go there, and when you sign up, you get between like 25 and $50. Depends. You don't have to use my links, but if you won't get the sign up bonus. So again, link in the description. It says exchange and wallet fees, and it's just me just talking about all the different ones. And I just updated this, all of Voyager stuff. Man, they got a lot of more cryptos. Look at this. And I actually show you like different interests that they have, and if they have it or not. It's a lot. There's a lot of stuff. So you gotta check it out. That was a long shilly answer. Okay. I don't know about that one. Thank you. You're welcome. You looked into VRA? No idea what it is. Don't tell me what I'm skipping. Just give me another question. So if you didn't see DCA, you just saw my dogs, Chloe and Chuya, walking around in the background. And even when our DCA show, one of them relieved themselves, which was pretty funny, as we were talking about the market. And someone said, hey, the market's taking a dump just like your dogs. Why does James love Sol so much? Because James, smart guy, he looks in Solana and goes, hey, this is not just looking at the decentralized part. He says, hey, the transactions per second are pretty good. It's a pretty good team, so I'm going to invest into it. Also, he talks about how Sam Bankman-Fried, who's the CEO of FTX, multi-billionaire, is really big into Solana. Oh, and also, guess who was one of the biggest donors to Presidente Biden? Sam Bankman-Fried. So might have his ear, just saying. And then that's James. I mean, I like Solana. I don't care. I am not emotional. I just, I invest in Solana. I invest in Cardano. I know James isn't a big fan of Cardano. Whatever. King App. How you like in Puerto Rico? It's pretty good. I mean, there's some issues, which I know you know. So I'm going to be talking about those, my updated video about Puerto Rico. It's a great place. I don't know how long this Act 60 is going to be in place. I've been hearing a lot of rumblings, so it is what it is. So we'll see. Uh-oh. Yeah. Where is the best APY stake Cardano? Every stake pool is different, but it's an average between 4% and 6%. That's the industry average, and that was put out by IOHK. It just depends on where you want to go, and the uptime. Because remember, the more downtime a stake pool operator has, the less chance you have for gaining rewards. Also, if they are saturated at 63 million, your rewards also go down. So look at a stake pool that has less than 63 million and look at their uptime. We use Kubernetes, me and the team, so it's up like all the time. And that's it. Also look for what they do if you're into like charity and things like that. A lot of ones do charity though. Best to sell your ADA now. Maybe. Yeah, I joined the Paul Baron. Yeah, he's a good guy. Thank you. Great show. Litecoin, Veracity. I don't know what that is. Oh, okay. Matasuki says the Meld airdrop. That's one hell of a reason to DCA into ADA. So if you don't know, Meld, we did a video on this one, not on this channel. We just do news on this channel, but over on Digital Asset News Clips, we did a deep dive into Meld, and I had Ken on, who's the CEO. And Meld is one of those platforms that's built on Cardano that's going to be able to allow you to do loans and only pay back the interest. You don't pay back the principal, that's right, but you just pay the interest, which is pretty crazy if you think about it, right? Yeah, principal and interest. So I'm not going to explain it here, but go watch that video. And they just did their airdrop because all you had to do was stake to their stake pools, and you would receive Meld tokens. And after I did that video, since we have a Cardano stake pool, we lost like 10 million delegators. We lost like 10 million delegates that just went over to Meld because me and my big mouth. But it was better for the community. I knew it was. And that's just how it is. And then, of course, like Meld stake pools, they dissolved after this whole thing. So people just came right back. So it doesn't matter. So it's really what's best for the community. I wasn't, even me, when I talked about the Sunday swap, I said, hey, we're not a Sunday swap scooper. So go to this, and check this out. And we lost a lot more delegates. And because I knew it was good for the community. Now we actually got picked up as a scooper. So now you can just leave it in DNews stake pool. And you're going to earn ADA and Sunday swap. Pretty cool, huh? Cool. Got a point. James is not paid to promote Solana. That's goofy. But to be honest, they have a lot of money, so. But I doubt it very much. And let's see. This is the last one. And we'll get out of here. I got to get going. What's your take on the U.S. government regarding crypto policy in the future? We talked about this like 3 or 4 times. One, I did it on Friday. We also talked about it on DCA, and I also talked about it, I think, yesterday. So there's a couple of things going on right now. There's a bill before the House. It's called America Competes. It's awful. Watch the video we did about that one. And I told you to contact your senators and your House of Representatives reps because the law that it's written in America Competes, it was snuck in there by I forgot the senator's name or the rep's name, but they snuck it in there. And what it allows the Treasury to do, like Janet Yellen, is to essentially just cut off any exchange that she wants to at any time without discussion or merit or anything. They can just do it, and it's just a unilateral power. It's very dangerous for them to do that. If they just wake up, like Charles Hoskins had talked about, he said they can just wake up and like, it's a bad day. I don't really like Coinbase. Let's shut them off. Let's shut down all the transactions. They can do that. That's America Competes. Then came out the Russian government, and the Russian government said, hey, well, the central banks in Russia said, we want to ban crypto. Parliament for Russia said, grab some bench because that's not your job. Our job is to legislate. Your job is just to deal with the economic policy. And, well, in a sense. And then from there, Vladimir Putin comes out and says, we have advantages for Bitcoin mining, and actually 11% is out of Russia, as I understand it. And we're going to build a roadmap to regulating crypto and not banning it. And that exact same day, There was a story broke from the Biden administration that said that cryptocurrency and digital assets is a state of national security. And we're going to regulate it. We're going to get input from all of our different organizations, whether that be the CFTC, the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency, and the SEC, and who knows who else. And we're going to regulate that in the next couple of months. And to me, when I saw that, it just, because I'm old, it kind of reminded me of the space race. When Russia first launched Sputnik, then, of course, there was a response to America. I was like, oh, you think you're going to win? We're going to win. And then, of course, then they launched the moon mission. And, of course, in the comments, I will hear probably about how it was fake, but it doesn't matter. So it is that thing. So I just saw it as the next big race, the best big technological race. I think there's a race between that, between cryptocurrencies, digital assets, and also AI. So whoever wins that is going to be the next superpower. All right, that's it. So look, if you like today's video, give it a thumbs up. Also consider subscribing. All the things we talk about are time sensitive. And that's it. So enjoy your Sunday. I appreciate you coming by. I'll see you on the next one. Adios.